Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237. Coming at you with one of my final slasher films I have, 1986's April Fool's Day. This cover fucking sucks. This is a much better cover. The disc, which is still in my PlayStation, has the girl with the title but doesn't have the background. Even the tagline, guess who's going to be the life of the party? A cut above the rest. This one, last one out's a goner. Yeah, kind of a shitty ass cover. Good friends with some time to kill. Now, thing about this movie is, one, as I've said before, by 1985, 6, 7, slasher films were pretty exhausted. They've done everything. It was kind of dying, peaked, going down. So that they had to be really clever and sort of self-referential, self-parody to stand out from the rest. Some did this okay, like Slaughter High. Some not good at all, like Return to Horror High. And I think the best one to really do this was April Fool's Day. Now, it's kind of funny because Slaughter High came out the same year. Actually, before this, it was originally titled April Fool's Day. But then they found out Paramount was doing it, and they changed the name. Which, I'm surprised it took this long for April Fool's Day to come out. I mean, maybe there is another one super obscure, and it just didn't do well. Yeah, I'm really surprised it took until 86 before April Fool's Day, because every other holiday had been done. And the thing about this movie is this sort of separates slasher fans. Some love it, some hate it, because of the twist, the nature of the film, how it plays out. People thought it was really clever and smart and well-timed, and it come out at the right time. Other people don't like it at all. They hate it for what it is. They hated the twist. Me, I first saw this years ago, and I hated it. I thought it was boring. I hated the twist. Hated everything about it. That's why it took me so long to rewatch it, re-review it. But watching it again just now, this movie has a lot going for it. I mean, complete 180 from what I thought originally. This movie's very clever, very different from other films of the time for a lot of reasons. It really utilizes the whole April Fool's aspect way better than Slaughter High did. And I didn't mind the twist. I'm surprised no one did it before this. And it doesn't bother me now. I think it's very clever. I was actually smiling and laughing along this time when I saw the twist, when before I think I was really pissy. I also like the premise. It's, a group of college friends. It has a pretty fun cast. I mean, has Amy Steele, obviously, who played Ginny, the surviving girl from Friday the 13th Part 2. Ken Olandt, who plays Nathan in fucking Leprechaun, the sort of Kevin Dillon lookalike, or not Kevin, Matt Dillon lookalike. I can't remember his name, but he plays Biff on Back to the Future. He's in this, and just some of the other actors and their characters. I mean, they all go to this island mansion of their friend Muffy St. Cloud, like they gave her a stereotypical rich girl name. She has a mansion on an island. They're going to go there for sort of spring break weekend getaway. And one thing I noticed about this is a lot of movies around this time, especially horror films, when it shows people having fun and joking around, they always have this like high-pitched cackling over-the-top laughter. Like the two guys in the opening for Chainsaw Massacre 2. Some of the soldiers from George Romero's Day of the Dead. Y'all like this, like, over-the-top cackling, laughing, and like shaking. these group of friends, you really buy that they joke around and fuck with each other a lot. Like, in ways that are actually pretty funny. I'm not going to give any examples, but... like, there's sarcasm, they just go along with each other's jokes, and it was pretty amusing. You could tell the actors had fun making this movie. So, they go to this mansion, and of course, you kind of tell Muffy has a thing for April Fool's Day. Like, they sit down for dinner, there's a bunch of whoopie cushions. When they have champagne, they have dribble glasses. And then when they all go to their rooms, like, they go to turn off the light, and the other one turns on. Or when they sit in a chair, it's false legs that give out and it resets itself. Like when Biff goes to put his stuff in the medicine chest, there's like heroin paraphernalia. This one girl finds S&M shit in her drawer. This other girl finds like an audio tape of a baby crying. So it's like, some is like harmless little parlor tricks, and then some of it's a little more sinister. But when they arrive to the mansion, there's an accident. Like, they have an April Fool's prank on the ferry. But then there's an accident where a guy who's swimming, who works on the boat, gets smushed against the boat in the dock, and his eye's all fucked up. So, a constable, which is funny, I didn't know, maybe this is a Canadian film, probably is. I guess constables are in Canada. I've never heard of constables in America. I thought it was funny they called them constable. I was like, is this supposed to take place in England? Could be a Canadian film. There's a lot of Canadian slash films. But anyway, so they start thinking like, well, I hope that guy's not pissed. It wasn't our fault. But then they all start being killed off one by one. And the thing about it is, a lot of the kills, it always cuts away right before the killing happened. We do sort of see a lot of aftermath, like bodies being found. And I think that was one reason why I didn't like it at first, because I'm just like, there's no gore, there's nothing, there's no blood. It feels like a PG-13 movie, other than some of the sexual stuff in the language. But since this movie does have a twist, I am going to say spoilers. I will say this movie has been very polarizing. You may love it, you may hate it. I can recommend it to all slasher films. Just do with the ending what you will. Second time watching, after years of disliking it, I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. But spoilers starting now. So, as they're all killed off, our survivors, well, first, a Muffy is acting very strange. Her hair is all frizzy, she's kind of pale, she's kind of like, oh, is there something wrong? I'll be upstairs. Just very strange. No one comments on it. And I forgot where I was going with that. And then, anyway, so you're supposed to think, oh, maybe it's Muffy. And then, a lot of the characters think it's the guy from the boat, the actual captain of the boat, whose buddy was the one that got hurt. Turns out our survivors are Amy Steele and Ken Olandt. And, there's all these clues lying around. Like, there's a piece of paper saying, Miss St. Cloud, and she's escaped from her asylum. Then there's stuff downstairs that allude to, Muffy has a twin sister named Buffy who's really fucked up. They find a severed head. That's Muffy's. So I was like, okay. Actually, I'll save that for later. So then Amy Steele is chased into the dining room where she finds that everyone is still alive. And it was all one big April Fool's joke. An April Fool's joke, but also tied with because, Muffy's mother died and her father's going to sell off the house, but she has this idea to do like this country inn or like this bed and breakfast with a whodunit clue kind of theme. And it'll be like a tourist attraction. And then they all party and whatnot. Now, every time I'm watching this, and this is something I didn't notice the first time, but I enjoyed it this time. When, like severed heads will pop up or bodies will pop up. Now, in the opening shot shows Muffy down in the basement getting things ready, and there's a bunch of mannequins. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe she can dress the mannequins up to look like they're friends, but how would she know how to do that? Or when I was like, wow, no one really notices that Muffy's acting really fucking strange. But everything I thought that could take away from the movie, they explain as it goes. It sort of is like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And a lot of movies don't do that. Or, or it's something that just doesn't make sense or something stupid. It's a fake out. This movie doesn't do that. It was like, oh, okay, so she's got a twin sister. So she's even though she doesn't, she's acting like maybe the twin is the one being her. Then when it came to, the severed heads and bodies lying around, the guy that got hurt on the boat with the messed up eye, he's an effects artist. He's an artist. So, oh, okay, so he really does know how to make all that shit. So it really, a lot of times when there's stuff that you're questioning and then later on they explain it, it could be just very cheap or just something stupid that doesn't make sense. I thought this movie did it very well. At the end, what's that song? I can't remember the name of the song. I know it's on Fear and Loathing when Johnny Depp first wakes up in the first hotel room. I can't remember the name of the song. They're all partying. Then, of course, you get that one last scare where the sort of quiet, repressed girl comes up behind Muffy and, slits her throat. But it was a fake knife. She said April Fool's. And she doesn't have a twin. Well, she doesn't have a twin sister named Buffy. She has a twin brother who was the first to die, who everyone thought was her cousin. It was a big, elaborate plan. And, I guess the thing that really helped it was a super rich girl that had money to, get people to do this. The only thing I'm kind of confused of is when it was full bodies, this one guy they find hanging, was it a mannequin or did the person have to pretend? And when they were killed, were they told, okay, you're dead, so now you have to play along? Or were they in from it from the beginning? Doesn't really say, but the ending, the big reveal is just kind of a lot of fun. That I just kind of forgot all that. I just kind of went with it. Which Muffy does say something to the effect of, well, when you were all killed off, you all cooperated. So I guess it's you just go by chance. By chance you get killed. But no other slasher film really did the whole thing was a big joke. Everyone's actually still alive. I want to say there was another movie I saw like that, but I can't remember. This one definitely did it the best. And I kind of feel bad I never gave this movie the credit. Especially over some of the last slasher films I reviewed. Fucking A. Just looking back. Madhouse. Let's see, I actually liked this more than Funhouse. But fucking Madhouse, Don't Answer the Phone, fucking Boogeyman. I actually like this more than Prom Night, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I see why people hated it because I used to. But looking back now, it's it makes sense that there's no gore or really any blood or anything because they all have to live at the end. And just, rewatching it again, I thought, this was well made. A lot of people hated on director Fred Walton. They gave him a lot of shit for making this. It felt like you were lying to false advertising. Like, you were going to give us a slasher film. No one got slashed. But that's what I thought when I first saw it. But, April Fool's Day, and also it's well paced, because once the killings start happening, it's quite frequent throughout the rest of the movie. It takes a little while to get into it, but, the characters are more vibrant and enjoyable and actually funny. Like, I would kind of put this up there with, like, My Bloody Valentine, as just, like, characters feeling authentic when they... I mean, not authentic in, like, a Tarantino or Kevin Smith kind of way, but, in a way that you can just sort of get the humor. It's not corny, it's funny, kind of like My Bloody Valentine. But yeah, I was really surprised, because I kept putting it off, just because I don't like that movie. All I remember is the twist, and I remember the rest being very boring and stupid. Watching it again, I really enjoyed it. And again, I can recommend it. I definitely can recommend it to slasher fans or horror fans. Just the twist, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. I can't tell you either way. I've been through both, but looking back now, this is a very underrated slasher film, I have to say. So, from Room 237, that is April Fool's Day. Thank you.